Welcome to Chase Talks. My name's Chase. Today we are going to be doing another opening of the Star Wars X-Wing Slave 1 expansion. And this is an expansion of the Firespray-31 Patrol and Assault Craft. Which if you look at the point sheet for the X-Wing miniatures, they do just call it the Patrol Craft, but it was also known as the Firespray-31 Interceptor. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut until I get this thing open. I did only purchase one, unlike the Fang Fighter that I purchased two. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one open. We'll take a look at the cards and the model. Alright, now that we got it open, let's go ahead and take a look at this model. And you can see I did go ahead and put it on the stand. Now, if I just grab the Fang Fighter that I had in the last episode and just kind of put it side by side. Now this is a medium base ship. So there, you can see a side-by-side comparison of the ship, so you can kind of see just the size difference between medium and small based ships. Now if I take this off the base for a second, the base does go in right there to the peg right there. It comes in and off really easily actually. It actually comes in and out easier than it does in the Fang Fighter. Now I put this ship close enough so you can kind of see the detail. You can tell this is a very detailed ship. I love the shimmer on the cockpit. Like it's like very reflective cockpit. It's very nice painting. I also love kind of the battle damaged painting that you see on the Slave 1 with the red and the green. And partly it could be going away because of the repainting that Boba Fett did to the ship after he gained it from Jango Fett, because it was originally blue when Jango Fett had it. Then he repainted it more to match his own color scheme, which was the green. A little bit more of a camouflage setting. Sorry if you hear me sniffle, by the way. Still getting over that long cold. Yeah, this is a really good model. I was actually very happy with the way this model is. I like the guns. It would be kind of cool if the guns rotated, but they are a small piece. So also if they rotated, I would be afraid of them breaking. So I am glad in a sense that they don't do that. I'll go ahead and put this back on the model. Actually, I'm going to lay it out to the side, because the way the Slave 1 is, it's much easier to see when it's in its landing position compared to when it is in its flight position. Because flight, it has a much smaller profile from the top, where it has a larger profile from the side and a larger profile from the front. But now this would be considered almost like a light freighter. It is a little bit bigger ship. It's a little bit closer to the size of the Millennium Falcon, maybe a little bit smaller. And let's take a look at the cards real quick. So in the cards here, we do have our first one, which is our Initiative 5 pilot, none other than Boba Fett, the clone notorious bounty hunter of Jango Fett. And it says, while you defend or perform an attack, you may reroll one of your dice for each enemy ship at range 0 to 1. And you can see he's got the focus action, the lock action, and he's got a barrel roll action. You can see one thing that's really cool that they did with the fire spray that's unique in 2.0 compared to 1.0 is they do give it both a front and back arc, so it can shoot 3 dice out of the front or back. It has a 2 evasion dice, 6 hull, and 4 shield, which is really cool. Alright, so that's our Boba Fett. And then our next pilot, our Initiative 4 pilot, is the shipping magnet, Emin Asman. Now, Emin Asman actually did first appear in X-Wing Alliances. He was the head of or one of the heads of his family shipping company in that video game that was for the PC. I think it came out in the late 90s. You can see his ability is if you drop a device using a 1 straight template, you may use a 3 left, 3 straight, or 3 left template instead. So, might help with satchel charges, things like that. I'm not sure. Next one is Kath Scarlet, and it says right here she was captain of the Binary Pirates, and she first appeared actually in the Star Wars trading card game. Is actually her first appearance into the scene, and then she appears in this game. That's her only appearance. So she has not ever been featured in a comic book, anything like that, which is kind of surprising. The Binary Pirates, if you didn't know, were based in the Corellian sector. And they did actually control 2 different planets in Corellia, and she actually has to do with the campaign in that card game. And her ability, she's initiative 4, much like Emin, and her ability says, while you perform a primary attack, if there is at least one friendly non-limited ship at range 0 of the defender, roll 1 additional attack dice. Really cool. I would actually like to see her paired with Boba Fett in kind of 2 fire sprays, and I almost bought a second fire spray, but I really want, especially with Clone Wars being added, I really want a second fire spray, and I feel like they'll add one for Jango Fett in the blue. They could not, but I feel like it'd be like weird. Maybe they'll just add him in like a Clone Wars scum pack or something for the ships that they already have existed. But I don't know. I really hope that they do add the blue slave one. That'd be really, really cool. But that's Kath Scarlet. Now, Koshka Frost actually is a unique character to this game, and he's the IC professional. While you defend or perform an attack, if the enemy ship is stressed, you may reroll 1 of your dice. A little bit conditional, because it does have to be stressed, but it does give you the opportunity to reroll. Rerolls are always good in the game, but of course, the having to be stressed is kind of the downside of this ability. The next one is Crassus Truck, which is Imperial Deserter. You can perform front arc special attacks from your back arc. While you perform a special attack, you may reroll 1 attack dice. So, I guess if you would add anything to this ship that specifically used the front arc, you could also use it for the back arc, and it would give you a reroll when you performed that attack. And now we have our generic, which is our Bounty Hunter. The Fire Spray class, and it just gives the information about the Fire Spray. It says the Fire Spray class patrol craft is infamous for its association with deadly bounty hunters Jango Fett and Boba Fett, who packed their craft, with countless deadly armaments. There you can see it. This is my first time viewing and holding this card. Next, we have our pre-build cards for the different pre-built upgrades that you can run on this if you'd so choose. I like how much stuff they put on the bounty hunter, but such little stuff they put on Frost. That kind of makes me laugh. And they only put Marauder on Scarlet. Huh. But now we're getting into our upgrades. Let me move the kind of holder that you get for the and all of these to hold your, oh my gosh, your dial together, your turning dial. The first thing we get is Lone Wolf. It says, while you defend or perform an attack, if there are no other friendly ships at range 0 to 2, you may spend 1 charge to reroll 1 of your dice, and it does give you an additional charge. Next one you get here is Heavy Laser Cannon. Attack. After the modify attack dice step, change all crit results to attack results, and it actually gives you a bullseye arc of 4 with 2 to 3 range, in the 2 to 3 range. It's pretty cool. Then here you get Concussion Missiles. It says attacking with a lock. Spend 1 energy after this attack hits. Each ship at range 0 to 1 of the defending exposes 1 of its damage cards. That gives you 3 arc, range 2 to 3 with 3 energy on this one. So use that one a lot. Next we get a crew card for Boba Fett. The setup start in reserve. At the end of setup, place yourself at range 0 of an obstacle and beyond range 3 of any enemy ships. That's pretty cool. It gives you the option to kind of set up around. Actually, in the most recent, I believe it was in the System Open, or the Coruscant Open, or Invitational, I believe it was. Boba Fett was a mandatory upgrade on the scum ships. There are some interesting things. I don't think people utilized it as effectively as they could have, but it's definitely an interesting card that you can do some really cool things with. Especially if you have like a fire spray or more damaging ship. It kind of lets you go there. You can also use it to bait and draw ships back to you. It's kind of cool. The next upgrade we get here for the crew card is after you perform a focus action, gain 1 focus token. So if you have a perceptive co-pilot, it gives you not only a focus on your attack, but you get an additional focus token so you can defend. So that's kind of cool. At least that's how I'm reading it. I could be wrong. This is Veteran Tail Gunner. After you perform a primary attack, you may perform a bonus primary back arc attacks. You get attack out your front and your back. That's really cool. I like that one a lot. I like how this one is the only one that actually has like a rebel. All the other ones are like really scum oriented. Like there's Jango and Bobo. It looks like, and Boba. It looks like. Is that I could be wrong about that because there's TIE fighters, but it almost looks like it's supposed to be like Jango and Boba Fett sitting there. I'm not sure. And then you get Boba Fett, a concussion missile. That's a slave one. That's a fire spray. This is a fire spray. That's clearly fire spray because that's the slave one. I'm skipping back to cards that we haven't showed yet. It's kind of funny that this is our first like rebel one. When all the ones have it, and that's if, of course, it requires you to have a back arc in order to do that. The next upgrade we have here is before you would execute a maneuver, spend 1 shield. If you do, execute a white 0 stay. So a 0 where you don't move at all. So it's a stay. I think it's called stand. I think it's called a stay. I'm not sure. Instead of the maneuver you revealed, then gain 1 stress token. So if you decide to just park where you are and you're like, I don't want to move, you can in order to use this to stress yourself. But it does cost a shield. Next is proximity mines. During the system phase, you must spend 1 energy to drop a proximity mine using the 1 forward template. This card's energy cannot be recovered. So you get your proximity mine, you get that one forever. You get those 2, and you get to keep those 2 only forever, I mean. Seismic charges. It's a bomb. During the system phase, you may spend 1 charge to drop a seismic charge with the 1 forward template. And here we have a title. We have a couple different titles here. The first title is the Andrasta, which adds 1 bomb slot, so you can carry more bombs on this ship. Next one is our Marauder title, which is while you perform a primary back arc attack, you may reroll 1 attack dice, and it adds a gunner slot. That's really cool. And our last one is the Slave one itself. After you reveal a turn or bank maneuver, you may gain 1 stress token. If you do, set your dial to the maneuver of the same speed, the bearing in the other direction, and it adds a torpedo slot. And that is all the cards we get. That's all the upgrades we get with our Slave 1 expansion. And here are the different dials. You can see there's the proximity mines, and there are the seismic charges, the different shields we get, little fire spray token. There's the dial if you want to take a look at it. All of our different maneuvers on there. We do get a 4K turn, as well as a lot of different blue maneuvers on this, which is always good. And, oh my gosh, yeah, boy, that was really bad. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe so you never miss another episode of Chase Talks. And until next time, this is Chase, signing off.